It is decision time, ladies and gentlemen. It's no longer up to the boss, Ruben Amorim. It is now in the hands of Sir Jim Ratcliffe. A decision has got to be made in the coming hours over the future of Capitano Bruno Fernandes and the several other players who have been out on loan finally have got to return, either to leave or to stay. What is the fate of Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and Antony dos Santos? That's what I am here to talk about. As I also remind you guys, it's match day today. In case you didn't know, Man United is in action. We are going to be playing in our tour, you'd call it, our friendlies, that's in Asia, where we have been, of course, since we finished our season. After that interesting season ender, Manchester United up against Aston Villa. Now we return to action in a friendly game, I should say, but quite an important one. Agen All-Stars up against Man United at 3:45. That's today. I'm not sure what time you're watching this, but that game is coming up. Then later on, we will be playing Hong Kong, and then Man United up against Leeds later in July. Among the games we are going to play before players go and retire and relax and try to get back to their families in the summer, then prepare for the preseason. So it's going to be a busy coming days, just like it's busy days now for the many of you who are learning how to earn on the internet. Thank you so much, people, for continuing to learn. It's $15 for those of you people outside Uganda. You can send $15 and book your 1 hour to learn how the internet pays, because guys, knowledge is wealth and internet money is real proper money. All of us can earn. Come and learn so that you put the time you spend on the internet, the data you burn, to proper use, fam. Come and learn from wherever you are. I'm waiting for you. Now, let's get into it. So, we know that Al Hilal tabled a very tempting offer for Manchester United, and more so for Bruno Fernandes to join them. And they seem to be serious and intent. They have been patient for a long time. Remember, Bruno Fernandes gave the green light to his representatives way back, about a year and a half or two ago, to go ahead and talk and listen to the offer that Al Hilal had for them to join the Saudi Pro League. Now, Bruno has spoke about it as well, saying the big money offers are there. It's not about money for him at Man United, but if the club wants him to go, he will move. But he wants to stay and win competitions. Now, United can earn £100 million from a 30-year-old captain who has served beyond limit, beyond self. Now, Ineos know that the coach Amorim wants to keep Bruno and build the team around him, but they also know they need money, because Amorim, in his own admission, is not going to be able to sign so many players like he would, because United need a restart, a new proper overhaul, but it needs money, which they don't have. Now, Ineos are now set to make a decision, because they were given up until Thursday this week to decide on whether they do want to take the money or not. So the clock is ticking now. Al Hilal need a response from both Man United and Bruno Fernandes. But Bruno first, because Bruno has got to give a green light to Al Hilal to proceed and approach Man United with their offer. But the offer is known. It's an open secret that they are willing to pay 100 million quid to Manchester United. Just imagine, just close your eyes and dream. You love Bruno, we all love him. Just close your eyes and dream of what 100 million pounds can do for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim in this time, where money is the issue. So Ineos are saying, listen, Amorim, we know you love Bruno, but chill. This is now beyond you. These are boardroom issues. They are going to make a decision, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to be so involved in it in the coming days. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. Turn on the notification bell, because you want to get this update the moment it lands, and I will be here to give it to you. Now, as we wait for that verdict on Capitano, it's probably the harder one. The easier ones certainly should be about the so many players United have loaned, but are now finalizing, some have already finalized their loan time with the clubs they have been to. I'm talking Marcus Rashford, who is expected to return to Man United, but not to play football, to leave, pack his bags and wait for a buyer, because already his agents are talking to people. They have been doing so to try and see the best option for him to leave Man United on a permanent. Remember, there is an option to be for him to be bought for 40 million by Aston Villa, but it's not if that they've got the first refusal option. He will be available for sale for 40 million to whoever is able to pay the money. So there could be a bidding war for Marcus Rashford, without a doubt. But also now tonight, the final game between two players who left Man United in differing manner. I should say. One was a darling of the coach Erik ten Hag, biggest signing he made when he joined Man United, but flopped as the word. Now turning into a role model, an icon, a hero in Real Betis, who are now in the final. Antony dos Santos will not certainly be staying at Real Betis because they cannot afford to pay him. But the legends of the club, the fans, are planning to kidnap him. Of course, that's a joke. They were joking, but they were saying even if it needs them kidnapping him to stay, they just should. One of the legends said he will provide the car. You see what they say, one man's meat is another man's poison. Antony is a legend. Perhaps they could build a statue of him at Real Betis. If they win the UEFA Conference League, owing to what he has contributed to them in the few months he's been there on loan. Now, Antony is priced at about 35 to 40 million pounds tops. And Real Betis probably may not be able to raise that fee. They are not really that big a club. And even if Manuel Pellegrini likes him and he wants him to stay, the fans love him, they are singing his chants and stuff, they know the cost of keeping him on a permanent is high, especially at a time like this when Man United are desperate for money. They just need someone who's going to give them the cash. So that's the confusion going on with Antony. Now, what will happen? The beauty is Antony's good show at Real Betis, I think, has made us quickly forget how bad he was. And now I think clubs, even in bigger clubs, in bigger leagues in Europe, can actually go for him and pay some money because he's still a young player. He's only 24. He's still a young player. And he's Brazilian. Carlo Ancelotti called him, summoned him in his first Brazilian summon for the national team. He's in there. So is Casemiro. So there is every reason for Antony to feel now happier because he was saying, revealed how he endured a lot of pain when he was not playing at Man United. He wasn't eating, locking himself in his room. His brothers were, pleading with him to still love football, not lose hope. He wanted to be happy again. He wasn't happy. I've said it time and again that footballers perform when they are happy. And happiness is not just about you're on the pitch. If you're not performing, you can't be happy. It's even harder if you're always given the chances like Erik ten Hag did give to Antony, trying to hope it works, but it fails completely. So he was dying and fighting from within. But he found his happiness at Real Betis, but unfortunately, they cannot afford to keep him there permanently. So Antony could return, but if the United doesn't find a buyer, it's possible that he could stay as one of the options, either in the number 10 position or a right wing back, backing up Amad Diallo. Could you even dream of that? Do you envisage this guy back at Man United and playing in a Man United jersey in front of you next season in the Premier League at Old Trafford? Perhaps not, but I think now is the time for us to see where he goes. Now, the other person, of course, finally is Jadon Sancho. Now, after tonight, his loan spell at Chelsea will be done, and Enzo Fernandez confirmed they have not made a decision on his future yet, but from his statements, clearly, they don't have him in the long-term plans of the club. So, what does that mean? There was an obligation to buy him, but it wasn't an obligation, really. Because if you say, you have to buy him for 25 million quid, but if you don't want to buy him, you pay me 5 million pounds. That's not an obligation. That's a confusion. But anyway, whatever the confusion is, the freedom fighter will be leaving Chelsea. If you ask me, I think he's not going to be signed on a permanent. I think Chelsea will opt to pay Man United 5 million quid, send him back, and then what? Is he going to play as one of the 10s for Amorim? There's no place for Sancho in Amorim's system, if you ask me. He doesn't have the profile, the character of the 10 that Amorim would want. But I think if you're letting go of Garnacho, there's no way you're letting back Sancho. There is no way. It doesn't make sense. You're moving on from bad characters around the squad, this mostly young squad that United is going to rebuild. You don't want to bring in players like Sancho, freedom fighters who are always speaking a bond with anyone and everyone, a manager, a former player, the former club. There is no way. So, Sancho, where will he go? He has got a contract that runs out, I think, in 2028. Long contract he's got. What is going to be done with him? That all lies in the hands of Sir Jim Ratcliffe. It's now beyond Ruben Amorim for the most part. Yes, he has made his recommendations, but now this is proper business, and you make decisions based on what the finances dictate, what FFP dictates, and what you need as a club. So what does Manchester United need? Does it need the 100 million quid for Bruno? Does it need 25 million from Chelsea for Sancho, 40 million from any club for Rashford, or does it need to bring Antony dos Santos back in this team as Amorim rebuilds it? What's your view? Soon we shall know the view of Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the powers that be. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. But also, hit me up on the number down on your screen if you want to learn how to earn on the internet, where you see me every day. You're not earning. Why not? You can from wherever you are, regardless who you are. All you need is your phone and data. That's all I teach you.